Here we go. Okay. Let's get this interview going.
Let's do it.
So you're live on West Sound Film Television today. How's that feel? That's a nice step up for the film festival.
This is a new thing. Last year they just had a podcast walk around. So this year, live television. Next year, the Tacoma Dome.
Well, this is really good. I'm really glad that you came in here to talk to us about your film. Your film was called Everything Happens.
For a reason, yes.
Yes, and while navigating the film, I think that really stands out. Without going too much into detail about it, I can say that clearly you follow a chain of events that might seem disruptive at first to those viewing it who are trying to understand the flow of the film. But at the same time, I think it's really truly reminiscent of like real families, specifically those that have grown up in like the last 20, 25 years. It opens with some a really interesting soundbite. I believe it's the Jerry Springer show.
It's Maury.
Maury,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it's Maury. My mom doesn't actually watch Maury, but I thought that it would be funny, and more importantly, I just thought that when I was home and everybody was sort of making, I don't know, the energy that I found in my family was very mountain out of a molehill type perspective of life, and I thought that Maury encapsulates that to quite an amazing amount. And I just thought this sort of noise, her being on her phone, and this separation that they have inherently, the mother and the son in the beginning, would be a good jumping off point for the film of them coming together.
Tell me a little bit about your home life and the chaos that's kind of supported this film.
Oh yeah, no, it's all the same. My parents are like that. My mom specifically is very much like that. My dad can sometimes be a screamer, but is also part of the storm itself. But it really, I mean, I was saying in the Q&A is that, we'd call cut and nothing would really change. It was pretty much exactly, a very reminiscent energy. My mom, she's a lot. She's very sweet, but she yells and screams and has a strong leading voice. Yeah.
Your mom was one of the main characters in this film, which I thought was a really interesting choice. I didn't realize that when I was watching it, but like, I got this like strange sense that it might be your real mom.
Yeah.
Why did you choose your mom to play such a deep role? And tell me a little bit about her, filling that portrayal. I mean, obviously she's a mom and has dealt with, similar situations. Just tell me a little bit about working with mom.
It was interesting. I was saying I wrote this originally titled, it was like a writing practice that I was doing to try to understand personality and character and dialogue. It was the moment that I realized that when people go to a movie, they want to be entertained. They're not going to a movie to see like real life. And this isn't like real life, like Robert Altman real life. They don't want to see your Cassavetes. This is like people don't want to see nothing happen. And I was recognizing personality over character was what I really wanted to explore. So I decided to start writing like a conversation with blank. So conversation with my mom, conversation with my dad. So I was writing these little short stories, just trying to understand who they were, seeing I knew them better than I knew anybody else. And I wrote this with like no outline, just kind of like fire alarm goes off, what happens kind of deal. And it went up to that point where she's alone, and I just kind of said, all right, this is a film. And we were all kind of stuck in COVID, and I said, she knew I was making films, that's what I wanted to do, but I asked her, do you want to be in it? And she kind of was really nervous. Obviously, it's like there's a rule, people say a page a minute for screenplays. That's not true. The script was 30 pages. The film is like 12 minutes. I cut some scenes, but it should be like a 20, 25-minute short at least. But she still had to learn 30 pages of dialogue and, learning a lot. We did a lot of rehearsals. We did a lot of, and not so much the scenes themselves as much as we did rehearsals on like improv. So I would give them like a point of contention. I'd say, okay, you want this, they want this, go kind of deal. And give them little motivations throughout, just trying to understand the relationship. I actually had a different actor for the son at first, and I realized he wasn't experienced enough to kind of level her out and carry her. That was like a big thing.
Yeah.
Because like she's never done it before. She needed somebody to support her. So I changed actors like 2 weeks before we shot. I was like, I had already like canceled the film a few years before. It's a whole other story. So I said, I'm not doing that crap again. So I found Tyler through a friend, and he was like, let's do it. And he was incredible. Every time we called cut, we're changing camera, we're changing the car mount. They were in a different room, running lines, and he was so good at like helping with the improv and kind of, getting in there and helping her out and being able to like support her and balance her out. And they became fast friends. And I wrote it for her, so her personality was there. It was just about keeping her above a certain level and under another.
Yeah.
And not every take is great, but the takes that work were great, and stitch them together and you get a movie.
The dynamic between the two characters was really strong. That's something that I look for in a film. When I'm viewing it, whether it be mainstream or indie, I definitely like to see characters that come to life in a way that's authentic, and I felt like the two of them were able to do that. I probably would say that a lot of that has to do with your mother finding a deeply personal connection to the story, and y'all's relationship. I got to say bravo on being able to do that and keep it organic and realistic throughout the film. Tell me a little bit about some of the other work that you've been doing. One thing that really stood out to me in this film in particular was your cinematography style. It's not overly classic, or retro, I guess I could say, but it does have that feel of like real film. Tell me a little bit about your vision going into it and as a director.
That visual came out of, I really thought it'd be interesting to put chaos on rails. So I was really like obsessed with Bresson at the time, Art Bresson, who's like the king of objective cinema, and it's funny, there was a whole other opening of just like hands being shot, which is like a Bresson trope, but it didn't work in the cut. But I just wanted to put chaos on rails. So how can I objectively shoot that? The 4x3 is a trick that I learned from another friend. If you are making a short film and you have no money, 4x3 is great because you cut out a third of the frame, and people think it looks cool. It's more fun to frame. It looks more original. But on top of that, you don't have to set dress for a third of every frame, so you save a lot of money that way. It's just a really good trick to save money, keep things interesting, keep that classic look. And on top of that, you don't. There's nothing else you need to see in that film other than the characters. And I don't need to show you that they live in a house. You understand that.
Speaking to that, you did a fantastic job of creating a very open world within your frame, that extends beyond that to the viewer. It's really easy to see this being more than a short film, or, for you to easily be involved with it so much so that you expect it to be more of a feature length. So, I got to say you did a really great job there, and I really enjoyed that about these characters. I find that some filmmakers often have a hard time extending the world beyond the frame in a movie that should follow that kind of format. You did go to film school. You've spent some time on both coasts.
Yeah.
Tell me about your experience becoming a filmmaker and how it got you here at the West Sound Film Festival.
Long story, but short. I didn't know that filmmaking was an option. I mean, I'd made like shorts with my friends, but for like YouTube as a kid, learning things like trimming. I remember the day that I discovered trimming. I was like, oh, we can put the camera over here and hit record. I remember the day that I found shooting out of sync as a child, but it wasn't until I was about 15, 16 that I was obsessed with Lord of the Rings, and I watched the behind the scenes just because I liked Lord of the Rings. And that was pretty much it. I was like, oh, this is a job that I can do. I mean, even when I got to film school that first year, I didn't even know that there were lights on a set. People say film school is stupid. I didn't know lights that were on set, so that was a cool thing to learn at least day one. I only did a year of film school, and then I went to work in the film industry in New York City. I was there for a few years, and then COVID hit, kind of left, made Everything Happens. Before that, I had made a few shorts, but none of them are worth anything really, and they kind of go in one ear out the other. Once COVID was wrapping up, my friends wanted to move to LA. That's where we went and did that for about a year and a half. I really didn't like it. I wasn't writing. I wasn't making anything. Everything's expensive to make. In New York, you can shoot anywhere. In Bristol, Connecticut, you could shoot anywhere. Here, you could probably shoot anywhere. You get to call on resources. LA, there are no resources because it's the business. So if you want to shoot on somebody's front yard, obviously you can't do that anywhere, but if you want to shoot on somebody's street or your front yard, somebody can drive by and call the police, and they go, "Where's your permit?" and they take all your stuff. So I just wasn't liking that reality. I didn't like that area. I moved to New Mexico. I was at an art center there for a year, and then I moved up here. So it's been a travel, and then now I've just been writing a bunch and trying to make more films.
In regard to Everything Happens, who would you like to thank, in regards to helping you make this film?
Oh, Yolanda Dutkiewicz, first off. My mom. My whole family, they've always been really supportive. And I think it's been good insight for them to see what filmmaking is. But this was like a really cool thing. Like having your parents do the Meisner technique is like a different level of dedication.
Oh, wow.
So that's really cool. Yeah.
You had your mom do that?
Yeah, for sure. Well, you're just trying to like meditate and try to get her in the space.
No, I understand.
Move off instinct. But still, it's a lot to be like, hey, do you want to do some weird ass like pretentious shit? And she's like, I guess if you ask me to.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And then I would say like next person, like my main collaborator, my DP, Matt Devlin. He's great. He's incredible. He's kind of like my filmmaking soulmate in a weird way.
Yeah.
Everything I write runs by him. Everything I do runs by him. Yeah, he's there for all of it. I mean, I think even put him as producer on this because he's so. It's so weird for like a director of photography to be so integral, but
Sure.
like he helps edit. He help like it's like I don't know. Yeah. Helps produce. I imagine one day he might even help me direct. I don't know. He's just great. So I like trust him with my life, and I would say, him more than ever. Yeah.
Tell me, since you've been enjoying the films this weekend, are there any other films that you've seen that you found really enjoyable?
Yeah, let me pull out my literature. I really liked Melting Memories from the documentary period.
Okay.
That one was really something. And the Aerochrome Then and Now was a fun little video essay. That was enjoyable.
That really reminded me of like late 90s, early 2000s short films regarding like a print type.
Yeah.
The Helvetica film, and so that was very enjoyable, and it came with some really cool information regarding aerochrome and creating that effect yourself.
Yeah, it was super cool. Melting Memories I do want to point out as well because I just like flipped through it to remind myself exactly what it was. But that one had some great personalities. Like there's people in that I would cast.
Sure.
Yeah, great doc. Really good people.
Well, if you're a member of the Melting Memories cast and you're walking around out here, we have a director who's looking for you right now. So come on down. Let's sign up.
Yeah, this is some great face. This one guy. Great face. Incredible face. Like an after-hours taxi driver kind of man. Like, got to throw him in something.
And if you're at home right now and have an incredible face, maybe you should bring it down to the West Sound Film Festival because you might.
Got a good personality.
Yeah.
I'm tired of attractive people in movies. I'm going to say it out loud.
Yeah, but you will.
I'm exhausted.
You will be doing some meditation practices.
No more hot people in movies. I'm done.
Let's
I'm
normalize
so done.
normal.
What happened to Peter Falk,
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Shelley Duvall. I want some interesting faces. I want some crevices. I want something there.
Could you imagine if Pierce Brosnan had replaced Brad Pitt in all of his films?
I love Brad Pitt. But there has to be the economy of actors has to be fluid. It has to be rich. Right now we have there is a low population of interesting looking actors.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are in a recession right now. We need more interesting looking people in movies. I'm tired of your cut jaw and Botox. That's my statement.
I agree. I would agree. The cut jaw. Let's just get rid of that right now.
I'm so exhausted of it.
Wait a second. You got one of those cut jaws.
Listen, it's not. I'm not. I just want more interesting faces. I want more people that look captivating.
Well, Ducky, everything happens for a reason. they've got it kind of just shortened here in the catalog.
No, that is the title is Everything Happens. I just say
Everything
for a reason.
And then it's like in parentheses.
In parentheses,
like a Guns N' Roses song from the 80s.
Yeah.
Everything Happens for a Reason. Is a fantastic film. I got to say, I really enjoyed it. I watched it. There's a lot of parallels in it that remind me of my early life growing up. We definitely watched Maury Povich in my household.
We were a Jerry Springer family.
Jerry Springer, too. Yeah, I mean, it was all going on. Lots of yelling, and a mom that, was trying to hold it all together constantly. But then once you begin to not be able to hold it together, had this like full-on experience. And I think she still deals with it, today. And I think it's something that all families can relate to. I think it was a very powerful and emotional film for those that viewed it today, not just myself. So thank you.
Thank you.
I would strongly suggest, if you get a chance, to check out any of the films that Ducky makes now and in the future. I mean, what's the plan for this after the West Sound Film Festival? How are people going to see it?
Right now it's going to some film festivals other than this, or it's submitted to. I'm on that, as I was saying before, waiting for that notification date and the no that follows, and then it'll probably just go online. Go to my website, byducky.com.
byducky.com.
Yeah, that's my website. It's really nice. You can see the movies that I like and what I've been working on, and then I'm editing a film right now, a sci-fi little short. And then I'm going to shoot one, hopefully in November, once the rain comes back. I've got a movie, little horror kind of deal. Not a horror. It's not. That's a recessive.
I think you need to get together with Jeremy Camp, borrow that cool Aerochrome camera that he's got.
That thing is really cool. I can't imagine making my own camera.
Yeah, and do some sci-fi work with that baby, man.
Yeah, that is cool. Oh, speaking of sci-fi and good shorts, Big Jim. Big Jim was really good.
Big Jim.
Big Jim was really good, and In Irons was also a lot of fun. In Irons was a blast.
Okay.
That was like probably the most fun I've had all weekend.
Yeah, sadly.
I mean, next to this moment.
There was a few, and I'll admit this, folks, there was a few blocks that I didn't get to see fully. But, we're open about that here.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
can't see
why
it all.
We're having these conversations so that we can introduce folks to the movies they can't see, because you're not right here at the West Sound Film Festival. Live in Bremerton, Washington, but you could be. So come on down. It's right here on 3rd Street, 4th Street in the future Quincy Square. And we'd really love to see you. We've got a lot of wonderful filmmakers here, a lot of wonderful films, and it's going on all day today and all day tomorrow. Ducky, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everything happens for a reason.
Thank you.
Wonderful film. Thank you.
Have a great day.